Yesterday, on our Vice President Shettima show small jab, give Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the British Conservative Party, I mean how they call her. Show a small jab. You know, Kemi Badenoch have been saying a lot of things about Nigeria, and some people feel she's talking down on Nigeria. So, Kasim Shettima just small say, whatever you say, Nigeria is the best nation in the world, and you are still in Nigeria. Now, recently, everybody did the blast her back to back, and I really don't understand why. Anyway, she have responded to Kasim Shettima. She did not respond directly. Too big to respond. She sent her spokesperson to respond, and she made it clear. Said she's not interested in doing PR for Nigeria. She's not interested in laundering Nigeria image. The word launder means to wash, clean. She's not interested in talking good to clean up Nigerian image, because Nigeria is already what it is. But Arise News, my guys on Arise News, Rufai and the rest, then you will start today. Let me show you this video.
The leader of the United Kingdom Conservative Party, Kemi Badenoch, has responded to Vice President Kashim Shettima after he criticized her for denigrating Nigeria. While reacting to Shettima, the spokesperson for Badenoch said the politician stood by her statement and that she is not interested in laundering the image of Nigeria before she was elected leader of the Conservative Party. Badenoch described Nigeria as a socialist nation brimming with thieving politicians and insecurity. She also said she grew up in a place where fear was everywhere.
I was born here, but I grew up in a place where fear was everywhere. You cannot understand it unless you've lived it. Triple checking that all the doors and windows are locked, waking up in the night at every sound, listening as you hear your neighbors scream as they are being burgled and beaten, and wondering if your home will be next.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I don't. You were just saying you don't remember this happening in Nigeria. She left when she was 16. I mean, there was a time where there was armed robbery. Armed robbery was rife, and Nini, and all of that. But I think that there is an issue when people in power, be it Kemi Badenoch or Davido, come out to denigrate Nigeria. Then it becomes a huge conversation. People like you, me, and you, Ayo, we can say, you government people, you're not doing well. You're not doing well. You're not doing well. But when it comes from people like Kemi Badenoch, then it's an issue. But her response has sparked reactions on social media. I'll take one reaction. This person wrote, "The truth often hits the wrong side here. Speaking truth is always labeled as denigrating the country. It's impossible to repackage what inherently cannot be packaged. Shettima and friends should fix up." Rufai.
See, this is what we are saying. We're talking about an Uncle. We're not saying I talk about the problems of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm not saying we have a perfect system. The UK is not perfect. In Oxford Street in England, I can't take my phone and be making a call. I'll be walking on the streets.
Yes.
You know who they call? The moped drivers, the moped riders. They'll come, they'll snatch your phone and yank it away. I've seen people brutally beaten on the streets in England.
Of course.
I've seen all sorts of assaults. Even when I'm in the UK too, there are some areas I can't go in the UK that I'm scared of because of knife crimes. Do you have that? Yes.
There's knife crime in the UK.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But also, they are great. And for Kemi, that lives a sheltered life. If what they said about her was to go by, stayed in the University of Lagos, went to ISL, it was a pretty much sheltered life. So what is she fussing about? But this is the same Nigeria. Please let me read that thing again. This is the same Kemi. Let me show you what she said about Nigeria in 2010. Read it again.
Where the
It's okay. Go ahead.
No, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's have a music session.
Okay.
In when she was campaigning to represent Dulwich, which has a good representation of Nigerians in Dulwich, and where she was leveraging her Nigerian heritage. And this is what she had to say. She said that, I'll skip a few things. She said, like you, I am sick and tired of reading that Nigerians are fraudsters, terrorists, bombing airplanes or slaughtering each other in places like Jos. Then she says, my promise to you is this.
Okay.
and she makes 3 promises.
Oh, yeah.
If I get elected as a legislator, I will use whatever influence I have to speak out against those who are cheating and robbing Nigeria and who seek refuge for themselves or their money in the UK.
Wow.
Speak out against the UK backing any individuals harming Nigeria too. 3, fully support and help to publicize genuine grassroots initiatives such as Light Up Nigeria, where the next generation of Nigerians is trying to change things for the better. This is a chance to have someone with real influence over British-Nigerian relations.
Okay,
It
Pastor
will
Imam,
not be
let
about
the Pastor Imam take over from there.
Let me moderate. Hold on. Okay. Yes, she said those things, right? We're still waiting. I mean, let's see that with those 3 steps. Wait, hold on. Those 3 things that you read out, how she wants to highlight Nigeria and all of that.
Yeah.
Great. But she did say that she's tired of hearing the bad things about Nigeria. That's what I've read.
About Nigeria.
Yeah, so we're waiting. Let's see if she will change. Because these things that she said, it was before she became conservative lead,
No,
right?
she was
right?
No,
Is that right?
No, yeah, this was before.
This video I just played was
no.
way before she
So
became
the
a conservative
the
leader,
truth is,
right?
After she became, she also said some things that were not correct. In fact, there are shocking things. Sorry, Rufai. There are shocking things. The New Telegraph has a piece on her.
Backing anybody.
Well, the New Telegraph has a piece on her where she actually says that she recalls the days where she was cutting grass, that we don't have lawn mowers, that when she was cutting grass, that she can still feel the blisters on her hands.
But
She's made very denigrating statements about Nigeria, even after she became leader of the Conservative Party.
So as I was saying,
Shall be
thank you
denigrated.
for the reading, may God bless his word. But the truth has to be said, Oji.
Go ahead.
What she's doing, she's playing politics.
Yes.
That's just it, pure
Yes.
and simple, and I'm shocked that people can't see through all
No,
of
we
this.
see it.
After all of these things she said, now she's pivoted to the war now criticizing socialism in Nigeria, and you saw Kemi is just a bloody hypocrite.
Yes.
Wow.
Is Britain not a socialist nation? Do people go out and work in Britain? Don't they live on welfare? So what's the problem? Has socialism not done its own good in society?
Yeah.
So this lady like Dr. Abadze is just an anti-Jemima and Uncle Tom and all of that, you know. And if you go and read the article by Fani Kayode, he has really berated her for what she is.
Yeah.
She's just a social climber. She's been able to use this narrative. Why about she not going out to blame the right-wing nationalists that are causing chaos? Do you see what the right-wing nationalists they do in England?
Yeah.
How they assault people, how they racially abuse people, how they cause riots in society?
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you
Kemi
know,
should stop all
the
of this.
spokesperson said that she's not here.
We
She's
don't
not going
need
to
their PR.
launder anybody's
Who goes to
image.
Okoje well as good PR
but
for
you
us?
know,
Adesina is good PR is there.
But you know,
Davido, Whiskey, they are good PR for us.
this diplomatic row, I don't know why it's necessary. I mean, Kemi has been speaking. Shettima felt the need to respond, but I liked what he said, and I like what he said. He said, you know, in India there's so much poverty, but you never saw Rishi Sunak come out to denigrate India the way
it's different.
On
so
April
far.
7, 1775, Samuel Johnson uttered a very famous quote, and he said that patriotism is the last refuge of this country. Now, Samuel Johnson was not saying don't love your country. It supported the idea of love of country. But what he was criticizing, the emphasis is on the word refuge. This group, there's something called group psychoanalysis, whereby people think, oh, all of us should take one position. And then the other, who is different in terms of opinion, is demonized. In other words, what I'm saying, you know, although it sounds theoretical, is that, look, people will always have different opinions.
Of course.
And what I said yesterday when you brought up this topic was to say simply that, yes, for every Kemi badenoch, we thank God that there are many others who are abroad, who may have jackpot, who are still proud of their country.
Is
and
that true?
second, which is the point I made earlier today, I said, look, yes, if this is the situation, how do we take this as a challenge to make our country better, so that some of our children who relocate abroad, who choose another aspect
Would
of their
like to come
nationality,
back.
will not look back at their country and talk down on their country. I think this is a great country, as the Vice President pointed out, but all of us, we need to be in a situation where we'll be very proud of this country.
Kemi Badenoch was born in 1980. She was born in England. You know, Mama Gabele, go England, born at there. As at that time, England be like America. Once you born there, you automatically, the person is a citizen before they call abolish her. So she became a citizen straight up because she was born in England. And then they brought her back to Nigeria. Just born her, carry her, come back. So She went to primary and secondary school. Yeah, at 16, she left Nigeria and traveled out. 16 is 1996. She grew up in Surulere. Surulere of that time, not being the Surulere of today. I grew up in Warri. And I'm quite very young. Younger than Kemi Badenoch. But I can tell you categorically that I've witnessed what she's saying. There was a time in places like Warri and Ugeli where armed robbers go right later, come straight, say they come. And nobody go sleep for the area. I will not get one long go, so we must stay out. Even till today, you see that my door where they back, so if I come very late in the night, so they open the door for me, I go ask my wife, so now they expect armed robbers. Because I go lock up, lock down, lock corner, lock middle, lock window, lock this. It's still the situation of Nigeria today. Not talk about that time. So Kemi is telling the truth. She lives in an area where you have to double check the doors whether it's locked. There was a time where door-to-door robbery was normal. Not be now with bank, not the way everybody put their money for bank. There was a time when they're going to rob your neighbor house, you go there, yeah. She lived in that kind of time. So she's telling the story now, she's telling the truth. Instead of us fighting her, that she should market Nigeria well, why not we make Nigeria a good country? So that when people talk about how we used to be, we can show them how we are now. But no, we are more interested in the people talking and saying because they are high and mighty, they shouldn't talk. Just like the Oji said now, when people like Davido and Kemi talk, if me and you talk, it's normal, but where them talk, I don't understand. The software way it hits the different from the way it hits you. You know, I like my brothers and sisters at Arise, but I disagree on this note. You cannot force me to be patriotic to rubbish. Not be by force. We go talk kind. Now something when about too bad, now the package. Nigeria don't bad, the don't post come out for diaper. So stop blaming the people that are talking. And let's fix Nigeria. We're talking about socialism and knife crimes in the UK. Yeah, there are crimes everywhere. But the crime in Nigeria is different. They go rob me for further police checkpoints. For Nigeria, yeah. They rob me for Jota. Police dey front. I dey come from Sele. I want some face Shettima enter express. As I wan climb that bridge there for Sele, my motor spoil. Immediately Agbe rush me. They say I'm more than 20,000. Police the opposite. If not be say me I be former bus conductor, so I was able to manage the ship with them back. I'm a free lower and Timoto is they push and go corner and everything. When they collect the 20K from me, when I don't go tell police say leave them now government children. Is that how it is in the UK? Because when we want to talk, we say there are crimes everywhere else. Compared to Nigeria, it's not there. And then we talk, we say India is also there are poor people in India. You want to compare the poor people in India to the poor people in Nigeria? India alone is more populated than the whole of Africa. Only India. 1.4 billion people. Total number of poor people in that country is less than 20%. About 270 million. Nigeria, total number of poor people is more than 40%. I don't even know where they got 40% because the country they see so poor people when they pass 70%, but let's give them the 40-something percent. Doesn't make sense. Of 200 and something million Nigeria, 100 and something million are poor. And we are comparing it to India. Baba our own over bad. Maybe they talk true and leave patriotism talk for one corner. If the country makes sense, we go patriotic. But today the country is rubbish. And Kemi has the right to say what she went through and how she sees Nigeria. She said she's going to talk against politicians when she wins election. And that's what she's doing. Against the people stealing our money. So when she talks about insecurity, she's not insulting Nigerians. She's talking about the government that have refused to provide security. Let's talk patriotic and they are patriotic, I beg.